This is TK with Black Equity Talk, and this is the self-love episode. Because here at Black Equity Talk, we discuss all things related to the health and the wealth of Black people. So, everyone, I would like to introduce to you our expert on self-love, Miss Kayla, Coach Kayla. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I am having a fantastic day. The sun is out. I like to be outside and get my vitamin D. I did my little workout this morning and just to get myself pumped up for the day. So I'm feeling good. How are you doing?
I'm doing very good as well. And I'm glad that you said that because this morning I kind of, I was thinking about, I think the last episode actually with Wambi and Pamoja, we talked about the morning miracle. So I've been trying to implement some of those practices, and I got up and I did a little journaling and self-affirmation. So I am really excited. And I also did exercising, walking, and all those wonderful, great things. So I feel really good today.
That is wonderful. And actually, speaking about the Morning Miracle, they both suggested that book. So I actually ordered that book, and I've become more intentional about what I do in my mornings, because when you wake up in the morning, that's really the start of your day. It really sets the tone for the rest of the day. So I've been trying to get up earlier. Like you said, journaling, exercising, getting my fluid intake, which is really important when you rise up. So I'm ready. I'm trying to get to the level of course, getting up earlier, but it'll come in time. I know it.
Steps.
Baby steps.
So there's so many things I want to ask you. I don't even know where to get started. So let's talk about self-esteem and self-love. What does like a healthy self-esteem look like?
Yes. So I would say a healthy self-esteem looks like pretty much when you value yourself. Well, first, self-esteem is how you value yourself and your sense of worth. And a healthy self-esteem looks like you put yourself in a when I say a high position, you speak of yourself highly to other people. You don't put yourself down. You uplift yourself, and that's really what a healthy self-esteem is. You value yourself. I think the focus on self is valuing yourself. We start with self. An unhealthy self-esteem looks like insecurity, negative self-talk, and I think that it's so easy for us to kind of get into that. Well, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough for that. Or I can't do that. And that's really when you kind of develop this unhealthy self-esteem. But when you kind of shift your mindset into I can do this, I can make goals. I think one thing that I tell my clients is you have to start with baby steps. It's not going to just be, here to here. And you can't just jump sometimes. You have to literally do baby steps. And that goes with self-esteem. It goes with reaching a goal, anything. Maybe looking into the mirror and saying, I'm beautiful, I'm capable, I can do this. And then doing that every single day, literally it transforms your mentee. So that's really what a healthy self-esteem is. And I used to have very low self-esteem. I would wear baggy clothes. I was very insecure. And then I had to realize, like, I do not like the way I'm treating myself because I didn't feel good. I didn't like the way I looked. And I literally had to change that. So I got into affirmations, journaling, speaking with a therapist. I think that's really, really important, or a coach or somebody that's going to help you in that way. So that's really what I would say a healthy self-esteem looks like, but also taking baby steps to kind of get to that space if you're not already there.
Yeah, I love that actually. And you mentioned a couple things, and one being having a therapist or having someone like a mentor that can kind of just help you through, because we all, probably experience times where we don't feel our best. And, if we get caught into that negative self-talk, it could really kind of spiral. So just having someone to kind of like bring you back down and ground you a little bit and say, remember this, all the positive things that are in your life. And I know sometimes with self-esteem, it's easy to feel good about things that other people compliment you on. But what if there are things that, people maybe not like about you? How do you really feel good about every part of you?
I would say there it's almost like damned if you do, damned if you don't. There's always something that somebody's not gonna like, they are gonna hate. And I think you have to get to the point where anybody else's opinions about you, it doesn't matter, because as long as I know I'm good and I'm sure and happy within myself, forget what everybody else says. And I know that is so easier said than done, because um we a lot of times we validate, our worth from based upon what other people think about us.
Mhm.
Um, but when you can go to a space where it does not matter what this person says or this person thinks, you will just go through life so much easier, because I feel like a lot of things with life is based upon the opinions and thoughts and beliefs of other people, but not ourselves. And I don't ever want anybody to when they get to the end, or like they're older, and I didn't do this because so and so told me that I shouldn't have done it, or they didn't like it.
Mhm.
Do this for you, because this is your life. You have control of your life, and it's only you. And surround yourself with people that are going to uplift you. That's another really important thing. Surround yourself with people that are going to uplift you, because if you're around people that's like, oh, well, I don't like your hair like that, or oh, I don't like that outfit on you, you need to
Choose
no.
new friends.
Yes.
Like circle.
Not it. So people that are going to inspire you to be better every single day. That's what I think.
Yeah, I think so too. And for someone like I believe that, to put out what you want to get back. Let's say there's something that bad happens to someone, and they will use that to kind of stay stuck in a position. And then someone else could have the same or similar bad thing that happened, and they'll use that to motivate them to improve and do better. And if I know two of these people in my life, is it a good idea to kind of communicate to them in different ways? And I'm kind of thinking of like people who communicate like Kevin Samuels, and they're always being kind of negative towards you, and they're trying to give you good advice, but it's coming across brash and just negative. Is it a good idea to kind of, if you know these people in your life and you love these people, to communicate with these two different type of people in different ways?
Yes, I would say yes, because not everybody's the same. Not everybody's going to take criticism the same, or what you think the same way. Somebody will get motivated by being harsh and brash, and being that, okay, you need to do this, this, and this. But some people are more delicate, and you have to treat them with delicacy, because when I go throughout my life, when I meet people, when I go place to place, I always have to think about, I don't know what this person is going through. You have to be delicate with some people. And then, of course, some people are going to take the harshness. That's what they need to motivate them.
Right.
Because I was saying that we don't know what people are going through. Each day, some people their parent may have died, their child may have died, they may have heard they got cancer. You have to speak to people in different ways, because you don't know what people are going through. And some people need a more delicate response or criticism, because of certain things that happened in their past, or their trauma, or stuff that they're trying to work through themselves. And some people need that look, tough love, like you better do it or you don't. And of course, I've been through both. Like my parents, like, you gonna do this or you're not.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna do this now.
Uh-huh.
And then sometimes it's like, okay, Kayla, like, look, this, and this, and you got to do this, and this. And sometimes you need that. And sometimes that same person at a certain period of time needs the harshness. And sometimes they need the delicate response. So you have to be able to differentiate which one you're able to do for that person at different times of their lives, depending on what's going on, and what situations they're dealing with.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. So it could be the same person, but they need different things at different times. So
Absolutely.
yeah. What about venting? I know sometimes people can use that to get stuck too, but can't it also be a way like just for self-care? Like how do you view that?
Yeah, so I think that venting is is a form of self-care, because when you're venting, you're getting stuff out, you're kind of alleviating all this stress that you have inside. Um, and a lot of people vent to me, of course, with whether I'm working or like my friends or my family. I'm like the person that people vents to, and it's a way for them to get all this stuff that they have inside out, and it feels good to have somebody else listen to what they're saying, listening to just what they're going through in general. And I think just listening, not even saying anything, you're like, okay, I'm here for you, all that stuff, but just listening to somebody makes a world of a difference. However, I will say on the flip side of that, um, if somebody is going to vent to you, you have to be prepared. Can I take this in? Is this something that I can handle? If it is not, do not allow that person to vent to you, because then you carry on the burden of what they are feeling. And then now you are heavy with this stuff. And now you're like, who am I going to go to with this?
Right.
So you cannot be somebody else's counselor or therapist. If they need to go to a therapist, they have to go to a therapist. You can be a friend, you can be supportive, and if you want them to vent or you want them to vent to you, that's fine. But if it is too much for you, you have to respectfully tell them, hey, I want to be there for you, but I suggest you go to a therapist, a professional, because I'm not able to do that for you right now. I think that's very, very important.
I do too. I agree with that because energy just transfers. So they're letting it out, but then you're receiving it. So you have to be able to process that and move it into maybe a more healthy form of energy.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think another thing is not being able to say no to people. Um, maybe give them resources, give them maybe doctors or professionals that can help them. Um, I think that's a very, very great way. But just knowing that we are also human too, and sometimes we cannot take on what other people are giving us because we're dealing with our own stuff too. That person may not know some of the stuff that we're going through. So again, having those boundaries established is really, really important for anybody and everybody,
Yeah,
because you come first at all times.
absolutely, absolutely. So tell us, you are a coach. What would be your title? Like a self-love coach or health coach?
Yes. So I'm a mental wellness coach, and I do kind of delve into self love, self care, self love coaching. I also do like the 8 dimensions of wellness, like financial, spiritual, emotional, and there's a few others. Um, and I also have in emotional venting sessions as well. So I'm really just promoting healing within oneself, inner peace, bringing out that self-love, because I feel like a lot of people don't love themselves, for maybe it's from their past traumas or from what people have been telling them. I think that's so, so important. Self-care, caring for your oneself, especially for people that are caring for others. Sometimes they forget to care for themselves, so for those people as well. And that's really just what I want to do. I want to help people reach whatever goals that they want to reach, but also making sure that you are helping yourself and providing the love for yourself, because we give away love to everybody and care to everybody. And it's like, what's left for you? And then you are pouring from an empty cup. So
Right.
making sure that I'm helping people fill their cups and do activities that are going to help them, have that self-love and self-care, and being a confidant, a friend, accountability partner, is something that I'm just really passionate about, for such a very, very long time. So that's really like the main thing that I do, with my coaching. So that's what I do.
Yeah.
And yeah.
So you can be the person that we call when we don't have anyone else to vent to, and you would be prepared to take that on and to also know how to professionally handle that, so you're not taking it on personally. So
Absolutely, absolutely. And everything that I tell my clients, I have to preach myself, because I can't be out here telling people stuff and I'm not doing stuff myself. So, having those boundaries with my clients, with friends, with family, is what I think also makes me a better coach, because I am following the things that I'm telling other people. This is what you got to do to do this or to do that. So it's yes.
And that's really good. I remember when I was in high school, I was that friend that everybody kind of just wanted to talk to and vent to. And you're right, you have to be able to have boundaries and say, okay, I can't do this right now. So that's very important. And I think now, like years later, I won't age myself on when I was in high school, but now I believe Black people are just being more comfortable with having a mental health coach or a therapist. And I'm really excited about that because there's been a lot of trauma for Black people, and just being able to process that, even with this past summer, with all of the things that we've experienced with Black Lives Matter. And it's very important to have someone that can help you process these feelings.
Absolutely, 100%. And I think that honestly, I honestly hope and wish that everybody could go to therapy, because I feel like there's always something that we could work through, whether it be familial things or relationships, or with our parents, with our kids, friendships, maybe past relationships, maybe things that happened to us that we suppressed, or just things that we didn't realize we were traumatized by growing up. I think that anybody could just benefit from just having a session with somebody and just talking about just some things that maybe they've just been going through in general, because it's hard sometimes. And then when you don't have anybody to go through to go to, that's hard. That's really hard. Imagine, if you're a single mom by yourself in a new place, and there's nobody there to help you, no support. That is really, really hard. And I am such a advocate for also having a community of people around you, a sisterhood. Maybe it's maybe a fraternity, sorority, somebody that's going to be there. Maybe it's your church or whatever. Having a community is so, so, so important. Just having other people around you to help you and lift you up is important.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, definitely. So for me personally, there's one thing that I kind of get stuck on the need, because I'm very logical most of the time. So I need for things to be right. I need for things to make sense. Um, and my husband keeps telling me, like, sometimes just let it go. Just, you don't have, it doesn't have, you don't have to be right. It doesn't have to make sense. Just let go. So can you talk about the difference of that? Like, how can you let something go when you're kind of stuck on it not making sense?
yeah, yes. So it's like you don't want to let it go because maybe it's bothering you. It's like, no, I want to do this. I want to make sure I get my point across. And sometimes I think there's a time and place for everything. Sometimes you need to get your point across, depending on what it is.
Mhm.
Uh, but sometimes it's not the right time. It's not your fight. You have to discern when it is your time to speak up and when it is time to be okay. I'm just gonna let this go, because not everything needs to have a reaction. Just differentiating and discerning when is the right time for me to put my foot down and say what I have to say, and when is the right time for me to let stuff go. And sometimes, a lot of times, it's not worth it. Maybe we want to get into somebody's face because they coming at us sassy. You know what?
Yeah.
And there have been plenty of times where I'm just like, you know what? I'm just gonna leave, because it is. I don't need to get out of character. They might be having a bad day. Let me just go on about my business and do what I have to do. Now, if it's something that's serious, that okay, all right, now I got to say something about this because this is too much. And then you go ahead and do what you got to do. And break a little nasty with people sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yes, I understand, like, wanting to be, whether it be wanting to be right or get it, whatever, if somebody's coming at you or whatever. But sometimes, a lot of the times, it's like, it's not even worth it. A lot of people get killed over things that it's not even a big deal. If they would
Right.
just let it go, if their egos were just so, I'm gonna this and this, and
Mhm.
now one or two people are dead.
Yeah, and it's not worth that.
It's not worth it. It's
Yeah.
not worth it. A
Mhm.
lot of people got killed over stuff that was not worth it, and which is so sad.
It is very sad.
So
Yeah.
it's, I just think about those things. I'm like, you know what? Let's go.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. And sometimes just breathing, like, okay, let me count to 10 or something and let me take a moment before I react to this.
Absolutely. And I like that too, because that's something that I tell people, and also just have to remind myself a lot. Like,
Mhm.
take a breath, count to 10, deep breathing. Deep breathing exercises help so much, whether it be if you have anxiety, if you're in a situation that somebody's about to set you off, walk away and do some deep breaths, count to 10, and release that anger and stress. It helps.
Yes, yes, that's awesome. My son, actually, we do that with him. We teach him, what is it? Smell the flower, and that's like the deep breath, and then blow the candle, and that's like exhale. So we've been doing that for a couple of years, just when we're trying to teach him when he didn't know, like, okay, breathe hard and exhale. We had to make it visual for him. So
Absolutely. And I think that's really good too. Like when you have children, like, kind of put in that visual, and maybe even for some adults too.
mhm.
But I think that's wonderful. I think that's great.
Yeah, yeah. So, can you give us some tips on like what we can do to like maybe change the direction that of our life that we want something that's not working right and we want to go the other way? Like, how do we begin to make those changes?
Yes. So I would say one of my things would definitely be possibly speaking to somebody, a professional, a therapist. I'm an advocate for therapy because so many people need therapy. So many people need someone to speak to about the stuff that they're going through. The amount of generational traumas that us within the Black community have is astronomical. Our parents, us, our children, some things that we never speak of that need to be spoken about. Um, seeing somebody just going through therapy is so important. I would also say writing things down. Maybe it's little goals that you have each day. Write those goals down, and then you can break it up. Like I said previously, break it up in smaller goals so you can move forward and do that. Um, Maybe also having an accountability partner, because sometimes we don't want to do it, so nobody's holding me accountable for it. So finding somebody like, okay, did you do this? Did you drink your water? Did you get up early? Did you do this? Did you do that? Is really, really great. Those simple things can help you so much. I would also say maybe even writing stuff down would be helpful. Just write. Just how are you feeling? What's going on with you? Because then you can identify certain patterns and certain things that maybe need to be addressed if you decide to go to a therapist. So I just think that those small things can make a world of a difference within your life. Setting those goals, talking to a therapist, having someone that's going to keep you accountable for whatever it is that you want to do is gonna, just those things right there, I think will definitely set you up to transform your life in general.
Yes,
So,
absolutely.
yeah,
And I've read somewhere that if you want to make a change, 5 years from now, you have to start today. Like it takes time, but those little steps every day, and then it'll, you'll be where you want to be.
absolutely, absolutely. Once you decide that you want to change and you're dedicated to putting in the work to do that, then look, those baby steps turn into big steps. I don't think people understand, like, oh, somebody walking every day for 20 minutes, that is a big step, because then you might be working, the next step might be 30 minutes and 40 minutes and an hour. Then you might be walking 2 miles a day. Small steps turn to big steps real quick.
Yeah, that is so very true. I never thought about it like that, but yeah, it really
Absolutely.
does.
It sure do. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So happiness is a choice. What are your thoughts about that statement?
Ooh. I think that happiness is a state of being, a state of mind. Some people think that happiness is a place,
Mhm.
or someone else. Um,
Mhm.
I think I'm happy within this moment, but then the next moment I might not be as happy for whatever reason. But I do think that it is a state of being. Maybe not as consistent all the time, depending on what it is.
Mhm.
But I also think that we decide, um, to a certain extent, we can't change certain circumstances that we're born into or certain things, but to a certain extent, we decide what attitude we want to have for the date, or if we're going to let something bother us. And if it does, then you're not going to be happy. But if you're like, you know what, I have a family at home, I have food on my table, I'm able to go to work and do this and get my bills paid, I'm a happy person.
Yeah.
I feel good.
Mm.
That might be a choice for somebody, but I also think that it's the state of being. We're not always going to be happy all the time. Certain things are going to make us happy, and certain things aren't. So it's almost um, like it depends on what you decide is happiness for you, because happiness looks like so many different things. A lot of people think that they're going to be happy when they reach a certain point.
Mhm.
And that kind of creates this ideal, like, I'll be happy when I get $1 million. I'll be happy when I get my house. I'll be happy when I start a family. And
Mhm.
it's like you're kind of putting your happiness in a place that's almost unreachable, because then it's like when you reach that place, I'll be happy when I have a bigger house. So it's like happiness is always a place that you can't reach. But I think true happiness lies within yourself.
Mm.
True happiness lies within yourself. I
Definitely.
think when you appreciate the people around you, you appreciate your family, appreciate the fact that you have food, you have a roof over your head, you realize, like, wow, like I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah. Definitely. I love the way you just talk, you just said that. Just having gratitude, I think, is important because when you put happiness away somewhere that you have to go when, one day, you can be happy right now. So yeah, definitely. I love that.
You can be happy right now. I'm happy right now. I
I
feel
am.
good.
Oh, wow. That is beautiful. I love that. So there's a question that I ask for everyone that's on this show, and that is, what is your favorite wealth building activity?
Ooh. So my favorite, well, I have like multiple ones, but I'll just say one of my favorites. My favorite wealth building activity is budgeting.
Oh,
I really enjoy budgeting. I like to know how much money I invested, how much money expenses, how much money I'm bringing in. I have a set budget for each month. I'm not going past that budget. I write down every single thing that I spend, and I will budget till this day is over. The budgeting queen.
yes.
I actually just recently got into budgeting because I wasn't budgeting beforehand. But once I started my budget and I set a certain goal each month, I know where my money is going into. That helped me so much, because then you can kind of figure out, okay, I want to do my investments for this amount for this each month,
Yeah.
or I want to do this amount for vacation and travel, or this amount for, like, food and stuff like that. And that has helped so much, whether it be my business or my personal life. Just having a budget in general is just great. You just see everything there. Because
Right.
before, I, I was never a big spender, but I didn't realize how much I spent on food or something like that. Like, oh wow,
Mhm. Yeah.
I didn't realize I was spending this much.
Right, right. And
Um,
that allows you to be intentional with those like self-care things. Like, okay, I want to make sure I do this for myself, so I'm going to put that in my budget. So yeah, that's awesome.
Yes, yes. And actually, one of the 8 dimensions of wellness is financial.
Mhm.
So when I speak about that, it's, maybe it's creating a budget for yourself, or maybe it's creating some sort of other financial goals for yourself. So just diving into that a little bit, or that aspect of wellness,
Mhm.
um, is always cool. It's always great.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So the 8 dimensions of wellness, is that something you created? Can you tell me a little bit?
Yeah, so it's not anything I created. I actually stumbled across it. A friend had it, and I was like, "Oh, that's really cool."
Yeah.
So I was kind of like reading up more about it, and I think it's what is it? Physical, spiritual, occupational, emotional, financial. Um, I think I'm missing a couple, but overall, it's the dimensions of wellness that are like all aspects of your life.
Mm.
And balance within all of those areas are gonna help you with wellness in general. Because if you're off balance, so if you don't have no money, then you're not going to be very balanced in that area. Or
Right.
if you're spiritually damaged in whatever way, or emotionally damaged in whatever way, then you're not balanced. So when I speak to people about that, I'm like, okay, what areas do you want to speak about? We go through all the areas and of wellness, and maybe they have a specific one that they want to kind of work on or work with. But the main thing is that there needs to be balance within all areas of your life, because if it's off balance, then something is not going to be right overall.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's really just promoting wellness in all areas. That's another thing with me, promoting wellness in all areas, because how can you be mentally well when you're mentally stuck in one area of your life and you don't know how to get out of it?
Yeah,
I
definitely.
try to help people identify what those areas are, so that, I can push them to help them get the help that they need, that they may have not realized before, in that specific area, whether it be physical health. Maybe they want to lose weight, or maybe it's, like I said, financial health. Um, you know, Putting them in the right door, or the right resources, so they can get the help that they need in that area.
Wow, yeah. Is that related to the chakras? That kind of sounds similar to like the different levels of like the chakra system.
I don't think that it's related to the chakras, but I am familiar with the chakras. It is like the crown chakra, the root chakra,
Yeah, yeah.
throat chakra,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
all the way up.
Right, right.
But it's almost like a wheel.
Oh,
I'm gonna see. I think I have a picture on my page.
oh,
I'm gonna just briefly share. I think it's like one of my first posts. But yeah, it's like a wheel. So I don't know if you can see it.
oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, cool.
The 8 dimensions of wellness. Um, and it's like a little circle, and
Hmm.
you dive deep into each one and see if you're well in that area and if it's balanced.
Yeah, that's awesome. If you can send that to me, then I'll put it in the video so we can have that.
Absolutely, absolutely. I sure will.
Yeah. So what is your social media, your website? Like how can we get in touch with you?
Yes. So first things first, my website is www.KaylaGibbsLLC.com. And then my Instagram page is life coach, or at lifecoach.kayla. And then my Facebook page is Life Coach Kayla, so you can just search Life Coach Kayla. And that's all the social medias that I have right now. And I'm thinking about possibly doing like a YouTube page. That might be sometime in the future. I'm gonna get all my content and all that stuff. But that's the social medias that I have right now, and how people can get in contact with me. I have my contact information in my bios on all of my pages. Feel free to send me a message. My email is KaylaGibbsLLC@gmail.com. So if you want to send me a message, or whatever, I'll be happy to communicate with you there as well.
Awesome. And does anyone have to live in a certain area to use your services, or who would be the most appropriate for you?
Yeah, so you don't have to live in a specific area. You can choose like your time zone, so whether you're PST time, MST, EST, and you could be on the other side of the country, and I'll be happy to schedule a session with you. So it's not really specific to any locality or anything. We can go through Zoom and talk or chat on the phone. So whichever one works best for people, I'm open to either one.
Awesome, awesome. And you, I think, went to like a prestigious university, William and Mary, correct?
Yes, I
Yeah.
went to William and Mary, graduated with my bachelor's in psychology, December 2019. So, working with different people that were kind of actively therapists or psychologists and stuff, doing research and stuff. So that was a big part of my just what I did there as well. And also I was a resident assistant. So working with people and having residents with different personalities and stuff, I think really, really helped me become a better coach too, because I was the point person that people came to. So, but yes, I got my bachelor's from William and Mary. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, wow. And I'm assuming like it doesn't matter what a person's background is, like their religion or their beliefs, you would be open to working with them, correct?
Absolutely, absolutely. There is, whether you're Christian, Muslim, agnostic, Hindu, Buddhism, it doesn't matter. I think everybody could definitely benefit from self-love coaching, or maybe the 8 dimensions of wellness coaching, or whether, like we spoke about, just venting and talking, because a lot of people just need that. If you just want to talk to somebody, you don't have anybody else to talk to, I am definitely your go-to person. So yes, it does not matter at all.
Yeah, you are so easy to talk to. I just feel like calm right now. And
Yep.
I can feel your energy. So, you are wonderful. And I just hope that everybody can um, find you on social media and follow you and use your services. And yeah, I just hope the best for you in the future.
Thank you so much, TK. I appreciate you having me here. It's been a pleasure speaking with you. You've been so accommodating, and I so appreciate that. And I'm just so grateful to be on your platform as well. And again, I wish you the best as well. If there's anything that I can do in any way to help you, please, please, please let me know. Please reach out. You know how to contact me. So
Yeah.
I'm here. You know how I am.
Yeah, you're good with responding. So yeah. Thank you everyone for watching today's episode. I hope you got a lot out of it. I know that I did. Please like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what your favorite part was. If you are interested, I'll have Coach Kayla's information in the description box. Thank you so much again. Thanks for watching.